My name is Jeff Clark, and I'm the commander of the North Andover VFW. This year, the town of North Andover and our VFW have partnered with Wreaths Across America, an organization to honor the veterans of our beloved community. Wreaths Across America is an organization dedicated to remembering and honoring the veterans of the United States while educating our communities about the sacrifices made by our men and women in uniform. This year, we are placing over 1,500 wreaths at Ridgewood Cemetery on December 14th at 12 p.m. Each wreath costs $17, of which $5 comes back to the VFW. As a nonprofit organization, all proceeds will be utilized to support the veterans of our community and their needs. Please help us spread the word about this amazing organization and opportunity for this community. We hope you can make it to Ridgewood Cemetery on Saturday, December 14th at 12 p.m. for our opening ceremonies and immediately following the laying of the wreaths. This is a wonderful opportunity for our community to come together during the holiday season and ensuring that veterans are not forgotten.
Maud Bulmer. In the Ridgewood Cemetery, across from the Longfellow Road sign, is the gravestone of Lance Corporal James St. Cyr, who died in Vietnam. Behind that gravestone, in the 6th row back, you will see an upright marble military gravestone curved at the top. It is the resting place of Maud I. Bulmer, Army Corps nurse. On 30 March 1918, at the age of 34, Maud I. Bulmer enlisted in the United States Army. She was discharged on 27 August 1919. In that year and 5 months, she had crossed the Atlantic on a U.S. Army transport on 23 November 1918 as a nurse, with the Corps of Nurses assigned to Base Hospital Number 7. They were going to the Great War, WW1, and would be treating soldiers near the front line. Maud had received her nurse's training at the Lawrence General Hospital and graduated from the program on 12 September 1915. As a part of that graduation ceremony, Maud received her nursing cap and pin from the Lawrence General. She wore that pin on her military uniform when she served overseas. A notation on the Lawrence General Hospital website regarding Maud and their nursing program states, Maud Bulmer is a notable figure in the history of the hospital, Lawrence General Hospital. She was the director of the School of Nursing at the hospital. The Lawrence General School of Nursing provided clinical instruction in nursing until 1977. And its 1,500 alumni have played a vital role in supporting the health of the region. Nurse Maud was born 26 April 1884 and died 25 February 1983, 2 months shy of her 99th birthday. I will now read a short article from the Lawrence Eagle Tribune written by Mary Fitzgerald sometime before June of 1977, when the nursing program ended at the General. Women in action. All her life, Maud Bulmer was a nurse's nurse. Caring for the sick had been her big ambition ever since she was a tiny girl. Now 94 and a patient at the Henry C. Nevins Home, it is the proudest accomplishment of her long, fruitful lifetime. She always said that graduating from Lawrence General Hospital School of Nursing over 70 years ago was one of the biggest things that ever happened to her. She was extremely proud of the cap and pin she received at the ceremony back on September 12, 1915. She wore the pin proudly on her uniform when she served overseas as an Army nurse during World War I. When the war ended, she exchanged the uniform for the stiffly starched gown and cap that was always kept a pristine white. The pin was always bright and prominently displayed. She went back to her old hospital, Lawrence General, and soon became night supervisor. This meant being in charge of the whole hospital from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. If she encountered any problems, or if a nurse had any, Maud solved them herself. This was true within the hospital. I tried never to report a nurse, she said. If anything came up, I handled it and it went no further. It was also true outside the hospital. Nurses who were in training at the time still recall how Maud was up to handling just about any emergency. One night, the girls were frightened by a prowler lurking outside the nursing home. Maud went charging out, apprehended him, and held on to him until the police came. No one bothers my nurses, she declared. 50 years ago, Maud retired as a supervisor and went into private duty nursing. Here she also excelled. Those who served with her recalled that Maud had a very special way with patients. Rosemary Lee, a nurse at the Nevins home, recalled, once there was a difficult case that no nurse seemed able to handle. Once Maud took the case, everything seemed to straighten out and there was no longer any problem. Maud kept on nursing way into her 60s. Now that she is a patient at the Nevins, she's still interested in all the nursing duties. When she sees the nurse readying a cart of medications, she invariably is appalled at all the medications people tend to take now. Back when I started nursing, she said, we never gave so much as a sleeping pill except as a last resort. She also watches over the other patients, particularly one little woman in whom she has a special interest. She does little things for her, like getting her a drink of water or seeing that she gets to bed at the right time. And whenever she saw a nurse wearing her Lawrence General Hospital pin, Maud would put her arm around her and say proudly, "That's my school." It came out that Maud no longer had the pin in which she was so proud. Somewhere, sometime during her long nursing career, it got lost. Nurses at the Nevins were touched at how much a small newspaper article in the Eagle Tribune last September meant to Maud. 50 years ago, it noted that Maud had retired as a supervisor at Lawrence General Hospital to go into private nursing. Maud got excited when she read it herself and beamed from ear to ear. See, they haven't forgotten me. And obviously Lawrence General was still the biggest thing in her life. That gave them an idea. The administrator, Kenneth Menner, the director, Miss Elaine Clark, Rosemary Lee, and all got the idea of getting another pin for Maud, especially since Lawrence General Hospital School of Nursing would be closing its doors in June. They contacted Mrs. Carol Schultz, nursing school director, who thought it a great idea and promptly ordered the pin for Maud. It was engraved with her initials and the date of her graduation, September 12, 1915. This week, Mary June Walmsley, curriculum coordinator, and 4 student nurses, Paula St. Louis, Patricia McAvoy, Deborah Farrow, and Ann Gremlin, went to the nursing home to give Maud the pin and cap. They weren't exactly the same as hers. Her original pin was a bit larger, and Maud was never donned the pleated and frilled organdy cap which Lawrence General changed over to. All through her nursing years, she had kept the starched white regular cap and starched cotton uniform. She would have nothing to do with the newfangled Easy Care synthetic uniforms. But the difference didn't mean anything. Maud's face was shining with joy as they put the cap atop her graying hair, always kept neat, just as those years when she was on active duty, and showed her the engraving on the bright new pin. Nurses who had served with her, doctors who had admired her quiet efficiency throughout the years, nurses and friends were on hand for the touching ceremony. Those who planned it had forgotten nothing. Just as it was ending, a little girl, dressed as a nurse of the future, Dawn Augusta, 8, presented her with a little gift, a nurse doll dressed in the Red Cross uniform, 1918. Probably Maud Bulmer had never been prouder of her chosen profession than she was at that moment. Turning to the little girl, she said, with her heart in her voice, "If you ever do become a nurse, dear, I only hope that you will love it as I do." Next month, we will hear from Nat Stevens about Horatio Rogers.
Hi, my name is Bill Dolan. I'm the coordinator for VFW Post 2104 in North Andover for the Wreaths Across America program this year. To access North Andover's event, using this website will allow individuals or groups of volunteers to register to place wreaths. We'd ask that one individual for any groups of volunteers identify themselves so that we can work with that one person rather than the whole group. This access can also be used to purchase wreaths, which are $17 each, and to designate a family member or significant person who may want to place the wreaths themselves. We need to raise $26,350 to purchase all the wreaths for the 1,550 veterans who are buried at the Ridgewood Cemetery. We need to raise this money by December 3rd. Wreaths Across America is dedicated to remember, honor, and teach about veterans. In this segment, and the others in this series was created by North Andover Camp to help us reach out and do that. The theme for Wreaths Across America, encompassing nearly 4,500 communities across the country who are laying veterans wreaths on December 14th, is Live with Purpose. The opening ceremony honors all branches of our military with a ceremonial wreath posted for each branch by an active or retired member of that branch, and a wreath to remember the POWs and MIAs. Wreaths will have been placed throughout the cemetery for the 1,550 veterans. If successful, we intend to include all North Andover cemeteries in future years. Live with purpose, and please participate on December 14th.